Water makes up most of this planet. It shapes it. It starts as rain, flows to the rivers and streams, and ends up in the ocean. Every stream, every cloud, and every raindrop. It all comes back to the ocean. Every living thing needs water. It breathes life into us and draws us into her. We exist because of her. She is powerful. We can't live without her, but she can live without us. Many people are drawn to her beauty, walking down the shoreline just to be mesmerized. Then there are the others, those that hear her calling and don't stop at the sand's edge, rather go full bore into her and submerge themselves. Those that spend time with her understand her power, feel her energy, and thirst for her when they are not by her side. She gives them something nothing else can.
As soon as your toes hit the water, you forget about anything else that's going on. You just realize, you're here and now. It brings you into the present and what you're doing. Going surfing, it's pretty fun to be able to shut everything off and be able to focus on kind of what you're doing right now. It just brings you away from all the problems or anything else that you might be worrying about for the rest of your day.
I love surfing very much. It's part of my lifestyle. I drive big cranes and stuff for a living, but anytime when I get in the water, I'm a different person. I just let loose. It feels like that's where I belong. In the water, actually.
Surfing is like my life. Like, I do it every day. When I wake up, I think about it. When I'm at school, I think about it. When right when I get out of school, that's like all I'm thinking about, like where it's good and like how the surf is and like what board I'm gonna ride and stuff.
When you're sitting in the water, it's kind of up to you what kind of mindset you want to be in or where you're at mentally in the water. It's just a place that you can go and pretty much hit like a reset button for whatever's going on in the outside, whatever's going on in your life, the outside world, politically, family, things. Just a place where everything can kind of you can come back and center yourself.
When you're out there in the water, it's kind of like a calm comes over you, especially those big blue mornings, in the middle of winter. It's crisp, there's not as many people around, and you just way out the back and you can see these A-frames coming in at you, and it's just you and the wave, you know what I mean? And it's just such a good feeling, and it's so challenging to yourself, and that's really why I still surf so much. I just love that challenge.
It's happiness for sure. It definitely brings everything together, and it makes me forget about hard times in my life. There's almost never a bad day in the ocean, which helps. Surfing it's like what I love to do. It's all I want to ever do. It's like my life. My life literally revolves around surfing.
It's like pure enjoyment. It's like your happiest place in life. You're just on the wave gliding.
Nothing can compare to the feeling you get when you're out in the water. It's the best. It's where you feel the most stoked. And as soon as I stand up, everything is gone. And it's just me, and it's just the ocean. And it's just about having fun.
I love surfing because it's really fun and it's something to do to get my mind off of things. You can always just go surfing and it makes you feel better. It sounds cheesy, but every time I surf, I just feel so much better after I get out of the water than I did before.
It's helped me through problems in my life. Been incarcerated. All I could think about was surfing. How do I get out of this cell? How do I get back to what I do? Once you have it again, you realize what you missed. You miss that feeling of just being alone, being out there, not having anything, not having a worry, anxiety, depression, all the things that a lot of us battle in this world are gone.
I absolutely love the water. I love the ocean. I try to get in every single day. I feel so much better every day after getting in the water. When I don't surf for a couple weeks or a couple days, my wife definitely lets me know, you got to get in the water. You're not acting you're not acting the way you normally do. So it really helps me out, just my attitude.
You feel completely free from everything, and when you're gliding on a wave and the wind's like blowing in your face and you hear the wave breaking behind you. I mean, there's just no better feeling in the world. It's like you're flying in a way.
Once you're out in the water, there's just so much going on. It's like all your senses are turned on, and I think that like that's maybe what we were created to do, is just to be out in places like that, so that you'd be able to smell things you would never smell, and see things you never see, and feel things that you could never feel before.
There's a hustle on land that doesn't exist in the water. Sights and sounds that engulf us in the streets don't survive beyond where the sand meets the water. That moment our feet touch the salt water is where the grime of everyday tasks fall away. Bills, work, school seems far remote. Now we concentrate on water. We immerse ourselves into the ocean. There's a flow to surfing, a dance, a rhythm that exists between surfers and the ocean. This rhythm allows surfers to express themselves in ways they can't on land.
You could totally make a barrel section, or you're setting up for a big boost. It's that big pump, knowing that you need the speed to finish this wave. You need the speed to do what you want to do, and that's my favorite part.
That's just such a rush, it's just such a natural high. You just see everything. It happens so fast. The water's sucking up below you, and you're thinking to yourself, I know I can make this. I got to send it over this ledge, and you airdrop and then pull into a just a crisp blue barrel, and it's just, I mean, there's nothing like it.
It's exhilarating. I mean, one side of you is thinking you might die, and the other side's like, well, I might catch the biggest wave, the biggest barrel in my life. I'm scared because I'm a human being, and the other side is like, I'll go for the biggest wave, and all my me being scared. Once I'm out there, I'm looking for the biggest, gnarliest wave, and that's just the way I am.
Just kind of like letting everything go and immersing yourself in something that you really have no control over. I'm like, man, the ocean's always been here, and we have, as humans, have figured out a way to ride waves. When you're on the right board and you're going fast, there's really like, it's unexplainable, and the faster you go, the more that you get to feel the intricate parts about that surfboard. It'd be comparable to driving like a Ferrari on the Autobahn, but you would feel like every sense of it. You'd feel like the outside of the tires. You'd feel the engine, and it'd be like a Ferrari convertible. Like you'd feel like the wind in your hair, and you just feel all the elements and salt, and it's just, yeah. When you're riding a wave, there's like, and at the same time, like you're going so fast, and at the same time, like it's like time slows down and you're going so fast, but you're only going as fast as the wave allows you to go.
And when I speed the wave and going fast, this is a feeling amazing. Lose all my problems in the water, I just looking for a barrel, that feeling, look in the airs, as I move my body, move my mind, keep my focus. It's the best feeling ever, it's the best sport for me.
In the heat of the moment, I just I have a lot of fire in me, and scrappy, super intense. As cliche as it sounds, surfing is the escape. I mean, it's what like you are able to go do, and it just sets everything else apart.
Every day you're just looking to surf the best you can, to ride the best waves you can, to do the best turns you can, and you know, whether it's 1 foot, you're just kind of looking for that, you know, 1.5 footer to kind of, you know, to do what you can on. And when it's really big, I mean, you know, the adrenaline's up when you're paddling for a wave and you're starting to make that drop. You really want to make that drop. You know, if you don't, you might be snapping your board or yourself.
It's kind of like just a shot of adrenaline. You're kind of in that moment. Nothing else matters. Everyone around you don't see. And I mean, you just give it all you got. If you don't, well, you're going to pay the consequence. Sometimes we do even when we give it all we got. So we just kind of live and learn out there. You know, this world's crazy, and the only freedom that I find is when I'm surfing.
And you get to like, you have the freedom to do like any type of turn or like move, like maneuver you want on it. So I think that's really cool.
Nothing can compare to the feeling you get when you're out in the water. It's the best. It's where you feel the most stoked. What goes in my head is all the things my dad has taught me. Everything is rushing through my head, and then as soon as I know I'm in the wave and as soon as I stand up, everything is gone.
So in this like mental state of like concentration, but like enjoyment, but like I can't even describe what it is or why I can't think of anything else when I'm on a wave, but it's just something that happens to everyone when they surf, and that's what keeps everyone coming back.
You know, so much. It allows me, you know, to express myself, you know, through just my own unique style. Everyone's got their own style. It's helped me, you know, socially with getting to know people and, you know, being a part of this kind of community of people who are all doing the same thing. You know, I always feel so much better when I get out of the water. You know, I'm a better person when I'm on land after I surf.
You're going down the wave and it's like you could try to do whatever you want. Like, it's like freedom. Once you like get on the wave and start gliding through, it's like you want to keep doing it to get better, and it just gets like more fun as you keep doing it. I love the challenge of every day, like when you get out there, if it's like what the water provides for you, if it's like windy, choppy, clean, blown out, like I'm still out there practicing.
I surf every day. If it's really good, you're super excited to catch your first wave, so you're like racing out there. And also just like waiting in between sets for the good waves to come in. It's like kind of calming somewhat, and it's really peaceful.
You know, you really do shut off. I mean, you know, you still, when you're out in the water, sometimes those thoughts creep back into your head. Your worries from outside, you know, the worries of your normal day or anything that's going on in your life, you can still think about that out in the water. But when you're actually paddling for that wave, that's when, for me, you actually shuts everything off, and you have the utmost focus of what the task is, you know, what you're doing right then and there. And it's pretty cool to be able to, that's where really everything shuts off, and you only are thinking about that wave and what you want to do and how you want to see yourself on that wave. So that's the ultimate focus and separation from everything else in the world, is when you're actually paddling for that wave.
There is a dark side to water. Her power can bring you a fear you've never experienced. Her energy is unmatched, and when she grabs you and holds you down, you are helpless.
rushing giant waves, I'm alive. And especially when I get pummeled by like a 10 to 12 foot wave. Breakwall wave, it'll punish you, and that's when I'm really alive. That's the part of big wave riding, you know. A lot of people think, well, I'm going to ride big waves, but they don't see the other side. There's another side. When you're getting pummeled and thinking that you're not going to come back up, and in the back of your head, you're like, well, this might be my last wave.
I think getting beat down underwater is one of the best things that can happen to you. I mean, yeah, it's exhilarating, it's exciting. The adrenaline that you get of like escaping those places is something that's like, as surfers and as people that are adrenaline junkies, I guess, or they seek that kind of excitement, like we kind of like thrive off that and we live off of it. But then actually getting caught and beat down is something, it's so humbling. We don't have control over everything, but we have control over what we have in the moment. And so when you're getting beat down, it's like you're just allowing things to pass. And like the more you freak out, the worse it gets.
It's a scary feeling. It's dark. Sometimes it's deep. And there's nothing you can do. It's the most helpless anyone can feel. You're just being tossed around, and when Mother Nature decides, you will get to go up. Besides that, have fun and hold on.
You've just got to be on it. You've got to want it. I mean, South Bay's never pretty. It's never, oh, the waves are perfect. It doesn't look like Hawaii. There's always going to be a lot of closeouts, and you're going to have to take a lot of beatings in order to get that wave. That's just the name of the game. You got to really want it in the South Bay.
When I'm paddling out and I know I'm going to get caught inside on a really big day, what I'm thinking is what's behind it. I almost always know I can handle the first one, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking about really, is how many of these things am I going to have to take on the head. It's part of the fun, you know, and when you look at it that way, it's not really scary anymore.
Getting tossed around, hoping not to hit the bottom, sometimes you like can just feel, your like eyes are closed and you're getting pushed down deeper and deeper, and you know the bottom's there somewhere, and you can almost like feel it even though your eyes are closed. I kind of try to convince myself that I know I'm coming back up to the top, but it's more so just trying to stay calm and embrace for the impact of whatever's beneath.
Some kind of monster, some kind of monster, some kind of monster, this monster lives.
We chase water for different reasons, but the core drive is the same: to cleanse ourselves, face our fears, and live in a moment where nothing else matters. On land, we spend our time chasing happiness through the concrete jungle, but as surfers, we find true joy chasing water. We chose these surfers from different ages, genders, and backgrounds to get a variety of feedback.
Parker, that kid's got a cool mullet. Yeah, he's got a really cool edge to him.
Mullet, Mr. Mullet, known for the airs. He is an insane surfer who everyone loves to watch. Like his name is just like, everyone just like knows it because it's just so insane. Like when you watch him paddle out, everyone's looking, and every time he stands up, like everyone's eyes just open wide because he's such an exciting surfer.
Noah Collins, man, watching him grow up has been one of the most exciting things I think in my own life. The transition he's made from just being a competitive surfer with these crazy neon airbrushes to now like he makes his own clothes. Like he takes photos, he makes things that I don't even know what they are. And then he's, above all, is just one of the nicest, most genuine people I know. One of my best friends. I love that kid.
Alex Fry is an awesome kid, in and out of the water. I'd like to say free surfing and competitive surfing, he's awesome, but being in the same heat as him is terrifying. You see his name at the top of the list and he's in the red jersey and you're like, okay, so best I could do is a second.
I love my dad. He's the person that taught me how to surf. He's the reason I started surfing. I also look up to my dad a lot, and he always tries to help me get better, and so I really appreciate him too.
Oh, Tom is a legend. He's so good, and he's, for his age, and like he's always so happy and has a smile on his face, and again, like making the best out of like the waves, and just like he makes the waves look good even though they're bad. Like you would think it'd be really bad, and he's like, oh no, like look at that wave, it's so good, and then you're like, oh, like you just don't see it. He just always has this connection to the ocean, which is so cool.
Tom's the most loving, awesome, caring guy ever. takes care of the whole beach. Without Tom, a lot of people would probably be a lot more injured or even drown.
I've known Michael Lursen since I was a little kid, pretty much. Obviously, I met him at the Redondo Breakwall. He's one of the most hardcore guys I've ever seen. He's there, rain or shine. You know, now his son's a really great big wave surfer, and he's just as frothed out as he ever was. And that's one thing I've always respected about ML. And he's a tough guy, but you know what? He'll always tell you, hey, as long as you're respectful, I'll give you the respect.
Mike Lursen on the bomb of the day almost every time. Super cool guy. Actually, last time we surfed Breakwall, it was just him and I out the evening session, and it was just like trading off. It was even his turn, and he was like, no. He was paddling over the wave, and he was like, I share my waves, you go. And I was like so confused why he wasn't going. He told me to go, and of course I'm gonna go if he's telling me to go. But yeah, super cool.
I remember the first time I saw Sarah Foley surf, and I kind of knew her as more of a longboarder. She showed up with maybe like a 6-foot tri-fin, and she paddled out and dropped in this wave and literally blew the tail off so hard, and then got a left, and she was just ripping so hard, and I was shocked because I'd only seen her on a longboard. I was like, wow, man, this girl's unreal. She's really powerful.
Gavin's just one of those kids that just gets it. Man, he surfed the other weekend in our West Coast Board Riders Club. He surfed in like the upper division, and I felt so bad. I don't mean to throw shade on him, but talking about it right now, but he came in crying, bawling, crying, because he was going so hard and so big, and he just wanted to impress. There's not a lot of kids that just want it in our area, and he is one of them, and I can't wait to see. He's 11 years old, and he surfs like Bruce Irons. I don't even think he knows who Bruce Irons is, but he loves to surf, and he's always happy. I can't wait to see what he does. His sister is the sweetest person I know. I'll be surfing at Rosecrans, and she'll be at like 40th Street and be like, hey, Matt! And I'm like, who said that? And it's Olivia just like waving with her like neon green board or purple board, and just like the biggest smile on her face. The family's incredible. They're just the nicest people in the world, the most sweet and kindest people in the world, and it's fun to watch her surf.
Olivia and Gavin Lusby, and I just see myself in them so much that like pretty much everything that I wanted from like the older peers and surfers is like what I try to give them.
Megan Seth is an outstanding surfer in the South Bay. She is like so elegant when she surfs, and she's the most humble human being I've ever met in my life. Like, she is insanely humble for how like hard she rips. She's a really good surfer.
You know, she's ripping. It's super cool to see a dad and a daughter like that getting along so well and surfing together. I mean, that's something that in my life, if I end up having a daughter, I think that would be an awesome thing to be able to share.
Nat Pagan charges. The first and only time I've surfed Waimea was with him, and he was taking off deeper, way deeper than I was expecting him to, and I don't think a lot of people know how fearless he can be in the water and cares about everyone almost more than he does himself, and he's just a really good person to have as a friend as well as in the water.
He's just like a genuine guy. He's so nice, and he's always trying to help whoever he can. He's always just trying to give tips to like the up-and-coming kids because he wants everybody to be successful, and he's really funny also.
Cheddar. What up, Cheddar? How can I explain Cheddar? Cheddar is a staple in the South Bay. I mean, I think he's got South Bay tattooed on himself. He's got ship pipe tattooed on him too. He's probably one of the most intimidating looking dudes if you did not know him. And it's funny because he's like the softest heart, one of the nicest people I know. Would like rip the shirt off his back if he had to for any of his friends.
Kelly Zahn is, you know, I think he's definitely one of the most underrated surfers in Los Angeles. I mean, everyone knows Dane Zahn, but Kelly Zahn is just, he's so smooth, he's so powerful. Just, he's such a nice guy. I mean, every time I see him out there, whether it's El Porto or Breakwall, he's got such a good vibe. It's always nice to surf with guys like Kelly Zahn because they're just stoked, and he just rips the bag out of it.
Wellsy.
Chris Wells.
Chris Wells.
Chris Wells.
Chris Wells.
Chris Wells.
Yeah, well, I've known Chris Wells since I was really young. I mean, the guy is absolute ripper. He's my age. He's 50 years old, but he is, 50 going on 15. Love surfing with him. I mean, he is just like paddles like a bee, just catches so many waves, and he rips. He's still so incredibly quick.
He's the ultimate kid. The older he gets, I think like the more energy he gets. Whatever he eats, that's what I want to eat.
Well, he's just one of those guys who's awesome character, great dude, give you the shirt off his back, and he charges harder than most. To me, that's a solid man.
Definitely a frother. Loves any wave that barrels, no matter if it's a closeout or a perfect wave. It's like, if it's barreling, it's perfect to him and it's firing, so he's out there.